A lot worse.
Big story that's getting a lot of attention. A federal appeals court ruling that a Northern California high school did not violate the constitutional rights of their students when officials made them turn their American flag T-shirts inside out so you couldn't see the flag on Cinco de Mayo due to fears of violence in the school. Now, the judges say that school safety trumped the students' First Amendment rights. Let's talk about this with two attorneys. Alex Little is a criminal defense and litigation attorney and a former assistant U.S. attorney, and Deborah Blum is a criminal defense and family law attorney. So basically, you know, just to give a little bit more background on this, there had been an altercation the year before on Cinco de Mayo, and so there's a bit of a battle going on here between a patriotism for Mexico and a patriotism for the United States. But Alex, I think that most people would say, well, let's hear what you say first.
You know, I think it sounds much more absurd than it is. The reality is this happened in a high school. It had to do with a very specific incident that related to what had happened the year before. Schools often, if anybody who's ever worked in a school, if anybody's been a teacher or a principal, there are things that happen in schools all the time that may, outside of that school, look sort of absurd. And here, students have First Amendment rights. They can certainly say what they want, and in most places, wear what they want. But here, the school, I think, did the right thing in trying to protect some students and maybe lessen some tensions on that one day by reacting the way they did.
Deborah, what do you think?
Well, I think as we're both criminal defense attorneys, and I'm sure we've both done arraignments where we've advised our clients to turn their T-shirt inside out because they were wearing a pro-drug message, and we were afraid that they would offend the judge. Here, these are students who are wearing American flag T-shirts to their school, and I think in this decision, which backed up the school's right to tell the students to turn their T-shirt inside out or send them home, I think that the decision was very narrowly tailored, and it did not at all address the fact that the Mexican-American students were allowed to wear Mexican flag attire or colors bearing the Mexican flag. And this is a huge problem that in our own country, students are not allowed to wear T-shirts that show their pride in their country.
Yeah, I mean, there's two levels to this. There's the legal level, and then there's the school administrative level. But Alex, go back to the legal level here for a moment, because this may find its way all the way to the Supreme Court. I mean, how is it that you don't have the right to express in your own country wearing a T-shirt with the flag of your own country, of the United States of America? Now, I can understand that it was provocative. They may have been trying to provoke by doing this, and I think that's what the school was saying, but still, I mean, it seems to be, you know, bad judgment to, you know, not allow them to wear them, or just to cancel the whole celebration at the school across the board. Yeah,
the court never held that the school could ban the American flag or that students couldn't be allowed to wear the American flag.
But that's what they're doing, many would say.
Well, no, but it said that specific day at that specific moment.
But how is it different if it's one day or you know, 365 days?
Well, in fact, even that day, there were students who were allowed to wear flags. There were folks that the T-shirts were deemed to be, the flags were smaller, it wasn't as sort of in your face. And the court said that was one of the reasons that really they decided to go with the school, because they thought the school was being reasonable. The school didn't say all American flags must go. They said these two students who are wearing shirts that we think were going to provoke other students.
If they think these two students are a problem, then they should bring these two students in and say, look, if there is any violence on this day, you guys are all going to be in a lot of trouble. Or they need to do what so many schools do these days, is when they think there's going to be a problem, they need to cancel the whole event. Deborah, what do you think?
I 100% am in agreement with you. Of course, the court cannot examine the school's motivations for having this event, and they say so in their opinion. But I think that we're at an amazing point in history when constitutional protections, which used to be used to protect a minority, are now being used to argue for the rights of students wearing American flag T-shirts. And in fact, the court is finding that those protections don't protect these students.
Yeah. I mean, Alex, why would the American flag be in your face, as you put it, and the Mexican flags not be in your face?
Well, I think it totally depends on the situation and what happened at that school. And in fact, one of the students that was involved had been in an altercation the year before. That student had been so worried, the parents were so worried, that they kept him home from school the next day. So this wasn't something the school was making up. There certainly was things that were going on at the school. I mean, anybody who's been to high school knows there are cliques, there are disputes. That's real.
Of course there are, but the school needs to use better judgment in this situation. I mean, they either need to cancel the day or allow everyone to wear their T-shirts and say, if you step out of line, you're going to be suspended. This may, as I said, go all the way to the Supreme Court, and we'll see. Thank you so much for weighing in.
Thank you.
Alex and Deborah. Good to have you both.
John Scott.